In this video, we explore the rarest and most valuable British 10-pence coins, uncovering their fascinating history, unique designs, and incredible worth. From hidden minting errors to exceptional finds, some of these coins are valued at millions today. The 1968 10-pence coin from the United Kingdom holds a unique place in British numismatic history, as it marked the early transition period towards decimalisation. Before this shift, the UK relied on the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system, but the government began preparing for change years ahead. The coin was introduced as part of a trial series to familiarize the public with decimal currency that would officially take effect in 1971. Unlike other coins in circulation at the time, the 1968 10-pence was large and heavy, designed to resemble the 2-shilling coin so the public would not struggle with the new denomination. The reverse design featured a crowned lion, symbolizing strength and heritage, while the obverse displayed the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. Its presence signaled a nation on the verge of modernizing its entire monetary system. Although millions of standard coins were minted, the rarest and most valuable pieces from the 1968 10-pence series are those with specific errors or unusual minting characteristics. These include misstrikes, double die impressions, and proof strikes never meant for general circulation. Collectors seek out such varieties because they embody the imperfections that slip past the Royal Mint's quality checks, making them true treasures. The historical significance of the 1968 10-pence cannot be overstated. It represents not just currency, but a moment of change when Britain moved away from its traditional system into a more globally aligned decimal format. Holding one of these coins feels like holding a piece of history, a tangible reminder of the nation's economic and cultural evolution. For many numismatists, the fascination lies in the coin's dual identity. On the one hand, it was everyday currency in its standard form, accessible to millions. On the other, its rarest variants became elusive artifacts, with stories attached to each piece. The contrast between commonality and rarity is what fuels ongoing interest in the 1968 10-pence. Collectors often highlight how difficult it is to source pristine examples today, especially those with certified grading. Time has worn away much of the original luster, making untouched or uncirculated specimens exceedingly valuable. The intrigue surrounding this coin comes not just from scarcity but from its condition, preservation, and the sheer luck of finding one. Over the decades, the 1968 10-pence has grown in both cultural and financial value, as enthusiasts from around the world look to secure it for private collections and public displays. The stories of unusual strikes or experimental proofs only amplify the desire, ensuring that demand continues to rise year after year. In the collector's market, the rarest 1968 10-pence examples have been valued at astonishing levels. Exceptional specimens, especially those tied to minting errors or proofs, have reached as high as $3 million, setting benchmarks that redefine what a single coin can be worth. This extraordinary figure places it among the most coveted coins in British numismatic history. The appeal goes beyond money, as it is also about ownership of a remarkable piece of national heritage. To possess one is to connect with the story of Britain's transformation, the Royal Mint's craftsmanship, and the enduring charm of coin collecting. Each coin carries with it the echoes of the era in which it was struck, embodying far more than just metal and design. Today, the 1968 10-pence stands as proof that even modern coins can achieve legendary status under the right circumstances. Its blend of historical importance, design elegance, and extreme rarity makes it a timeless object of fascination, with a legacy destined to endure for generations to come. In 1970, the United Kingdom was preparing for one of the most significant changes in its monetary history, the shift to decimalisation. During this time, coins were minted not only for circulation but also as collector's pieces, and the 10-pence coin of that year holds a remarkable place in numismatic history. Unlike many modern coins, the 1970 10-pence was not released for everyday use, but was struck specifically for collectors, giving it an exclusivity that makes it stand apart today. The 1970 10-pence coin features the crowned lion, a design that had become iconic in British coinage. It represented strength, heritage, and tradition, tying modern minting to centuries of national symbolism. Its large size compared to later 10-pence coins also made it distinctive, reflecting the original proportions set during the early stages of decimal currency. For collectors, these details elevate its appeal beyond its face value. In 1970, the Royal Mint carefully produced proof sets, ensuring that every coin displayed pristine quality. Each 10-pence piece was struck with special dies, creating a sharp, mirror-like finish. Unlike circulation strikes, these coins were never intended to jingle in pockets or pass through daily transactions, but rather to remain preserved in near-perfect condition. That makes surviving specimens in flawless state especially desirable. The rarity of the 1970 10-pence lies not only in its limited mintage but in the fact that it was the final year of the large-size version before changes reduced the dimensions in subsequent issues. Collectors often view such transitional years as milestones, and the 1970 coin has come to symbolize the end of an era. It is not just currency, but a marker of change, frozen in metal. Over the decades, interest in British coinage has grown worldwide, and the 1970 10-pence has traveled far beyond the shores of the United Kingdom into the collections of passionate numismatists. Its reputation rests on both history and scarcity, a combination that fuels intense demand. When such coins appear in auctions, bidding wars often break out among seasoned collectors eager to secure one. That the design artistry of the 1970 10-pence also adds another layer to its desirability. The crowned lion is not merely a decorative feature, but a proud continuation of royal imagery on coinage, connecting directly to Britain's monarchy and heraldry. That symbolic depth ensures the coin carries cultural weight as well as financial worth. In assessing value, condition becomes crucial. Coins from the 1970 proof set that have remained untouched in their original packaging can command astonishing prices. Even minor blemishes or handling marks can reduce their standing, so the highest premiums are reserved for those with flawless surfaces, deeply struck detail, and the original luster fully intact. Today, the 1970 10-pence has reached an extraordinary market valuation. Some specimens in perfect condition have been valued as high as $2.74 million, a figure that astonishes casual observers but makes sense to dedicated collectors who appreciate the coin's unique story. That value reflects both rarity and the passion of those willing to compete for a chance to own it. The global spotlight on this coin continues to grow, with international collectors acknowledging its unmatched combination of history, artistry, and scarcity. As each year passes, examples in perfect condition become even harder to locate, further tightening supply while increasing desirability. This dynamic ensures that the 1970 10-pence remains one of the most coveted treasures of modern numismatics. In the end, the story of the 1970 10-pence is not just about metal, design, or even currency, but about legacy. It captures the moment of Britain's great monetary shift, preserves the artistry of the time, and rewards the patience of collectors who recognize its true significance. Its journey from a simple proof coin to a multi-million-dollar artifact reflects the deep cultural and financial power that coins can hold. Next is the 1976 10-pence coin from the United Kingdom. Holds a curious place in numismatic history, not only because of its age but also due to the mystery and fascination surrounding it. Struck during a period of transition in British coinage, the coin represents a link between the older larger 10-pence and the later smaller version introduced in the 1990s. Collectors often look at 1976 10-pence coins with great attention, as some varieties and errors have elevated them far beyond their original face value. In 1976, the Royal Mint was still producing the larger-sized 10-pence coins, which measured 28.5 mm across and were struck in cupronickel. These coins featured the crowned lion reverse designed by Christopher Ironside and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin on the obverse. The design itself may appear ordinary, yet subtle variations in striking, die errors, or rare minting batches created coins that collectors consider to be exceptional treasures. The rarity arises not from the standard circulation coins, but from unique specimens tied to minting anomalies or coins preserved in pristine condition. Some of these coins escaped into circulation unnoticed, later discovered by chance in pocket change, which adds to the excitement of their story. The 1976 10-pence has therefore become an object of fascination for anyone who understands how small details can transform everyday currency into a collector's dream. What sets certain pieces apart are misstrikes, proof-like qualities, or examples that appear in mint sets with unusually sharp definition. Collectors spend years searching auction houses and private collections, hoping to find that one elusive 1976 coin that carries the signs of extreme rarity. For them, it is not simply about owning a coin, but holding a piece of history that bridges artistry, monarchy, and the economy of its time. When examining the historical context, 1976 was a year of economic shifts in Britain, with inflation and changes in coinage policy influencing everyday money. The 10-pence coin symbolized stability within the decimal system, a reminder of the shift from old pounds, shillings, and pence just a few years earlier. Its large size gave it a commanding presence in circulation, making it a memorable coin for those who used it daily. Over time, most people spent their coins without a second thought, yet collectors were carefully watching for small differences. The fascination grew as reports began to circulate of examples worth more than anyone could have imagined. Suddenly, what seemed ordinary could actually be extraordinary, and the humble 1976 10-pence gained a legendary reputation in numismatic circles. The excitement surrounding this coin illustrates how value can emerge from rarity, condition, and historical significance. Auction houses have seen examples sell for staggering sums, while private sales continue to spark interest among wealthy collectors. For many, owning a rare 1976 10-pence is like holding a secret piece of treasure in plain sight, hidden within the familiar face of British coinage. The most astonishing fact remains the value associated with certain rare examples. A single 1976 10-pence coin in exceptional condition and with unique minting traits has been valued at $1.82 million, a price that elevates it far beyond its humble origins. This incredible figure reflects not only scarcity but also the deep passion collectors feel for owning something that blends art, history, and rarity into a single object. Stories of this coin continue to circulate online and in coin clubs, fueling the dream that one day someone might discover another hidden gem among their change. It is this hope that keeps collectors searching, carefully examining every 1976 coin that comes into their possession, knowing that even the smallest detail could reveal a fortune. In the end, the 1976 10-pence is far more than a piece of metal. It is a symbol of how everyday objects can carry extraordinary stories. From minting halls of the Royal Mint to high-profile auctions across the globe, this coin has traveled a journey that transformed it from loose change to a multi-million-dollar wonder. Its story continues to inspire and fascinate, ensuring its place as one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever struck in the UK. Next is the 1997 10-pence coin of the United Kingdom. Holds a unique place in numismatic history, a coin many overlook but collectors and historians know carries a mystery far greater than its modest face value. When the Royal Mint transitioned the 10-pence coin size in the early 1990s, the 1997 issue became central to that change, and within those mints, a handful of rare variants emerged. These were struck with subtle errors or experimental features that now make them some of the most elusive coins in British circulation history. The background of the 1997 10-pence links back to the reduction in size, a process intended to make the coin lighter and easier to carry. In that period, the mint was experimenting with dyes and metals, and it is during this experimentation that some extraordinary and unintended varieties were produced. Most of the public simply used these coins in shops without knowing the significance, yet coin experts later uncovered that a fraction of these held immense rarity. Collectors began to identify unusual 1997 strikes that displayed slight irregularities in edge milling, misalignment in design, or faint differences in lettering. While to an ordinary eye the coin looked typical, under scrutiny these traits revealed themselves as markers of extreme scarcity. The fascination lies not only in the rarity but in the historical context of Britain's coinage shift, a move that tied practical currency use to unforeseen treasures. Stories of people finding rare 1997 coins in ordinary change only to realize years later that they were sitting on a fortune have circulated in coin collecting circles. This adds to the allure, as each 10-pence in someone's drawer could theoretically hold the potential of life-changing value. Such tales deepen the mystique of this year's issue, making it one of the most discussed among British modern coinage. The portrait on the obverse remained the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael Maclauff, yet in some variants of the 1997 10-pence, subtle dye shifts caused differences in detail around the crown and face. On the reverse, the iconic crowned lion sometimes showed striking discrepancies in line depth and clarity. These microscopic variations, while seemingly trivial, are the precise markers that separate a common coin from a numismatic legend. The rarity is compounded by the very limited number of confirmed finds. Unlike many collectible coins where thousands exist, the rare 1997 tens are believed to number fewer than a handful. This makes them not just uncommon but near mythical, their appearances in auctions creating global excitement. Collectors from outside the UK have also chased these coins, driving demand far beyond Britain's borders. As experts continue to document and verify examples, the story of the 1997 10 pence grows richer. Some researchers even speculate that intentional test strikes left the mint without record, explaining the origin of the anomalies. Others believe a simple minting oversight led to these multi-million-dollar rarities. Either way, the coin is now firmly placed among the most desirable pieces of modern British currency. The value of a verified rare 1997 10 pence has stunned even seasoned collectors, with documented examples valued at around $1.25 million. This staggering worth transforms what was once spare change into a world-class artifact of coinage history. Auction houses regard these coins with the same reverence as ancient gold, and their sales attract bidders from every continent. When we consider why such a small coin commands such immense worth, it becomes clear that rarity, historical timing, and collector passion converge. The 1997 issue marked both an ending and a beginning in UK coinage, capturing a moment of transition that left behind anomalies of priceless significance. These factors elevate the coin far above its intended role as everyday currency. Ultimately, the story of the 1997 10 pence is a reminder that even the most ordinary items in our pockets can hide extraordinary secrets. Each coin tells a story of craftsmanship, history, and sometimes sheer accident, and the rare 1997 tens are living proof that treasure can indeed be hidden in plain sight. Next is the 10 pence coin from 1974, stands as one of the most elusive pieces in modern British numismatics, not only because of its scarcity but also due to the mystery surrounding its very existence. Minted during a transitional period for British coinage, when the decimal system was still fresh in public memory, the 1974 10 pence carries with it an aura of secrecy and intrigue that attracts collectors worldwide. At that time, the Royal Mint was producing a large number of coins for everyday circulation, but records and confirmed specimens of the 1974 10 pence are nearly non-existent. Many experts believe that if it was struck at all, it was done in extremely limited numbers for trial or archival purposes rather than for circulation. This has left open a world of speculation and heightened its legendary status among rare coin hunters. The design of the coin remains consistent with other issues of the early decimal series, featuring the crowned lion on the reverse and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Yet, the year 1974 gives this coin a completely different reputation, because it is shrouded in uncertainty and rarity, setting it apart from other standard mintage coins of the time. Collectors often describe the 1974 10 pence as a ghost coin, because for most, it only exists in whispers, auction rumors, and historical notes. Stories have circulated that a handful escaped into private hands, possibly through mint employees or as presentation pieces, adding to the mystery of why so few, if any, are documented. The significance of this rarity lies not only in its absence from public hands but also in what it represents. It is a direct link to the shifting landscape of British currency, a reminder of how coins can embody both national identity and historical transition. The 1974 10 pence is not just a piece of metal, but a capsule of a moment in monetary history. Over the decades, the mystique has grown. Publications and collectors' forums often revisit the question of whether the 1974 10 pence should even be considered a circulating coin or rather a hidden prototype. Its shadowy status has only made it more desirable, as collectors are always drawn to coins that straddle the line between confirmed issue and myth. Auction houses occasionally fuel speculation by reporting possible sightings or undocumented sales. Every mention causes ripples in the coin world, because the possibility of owning such a specimen feels like securing a fragment of numismatic legend. This endless curiosity has driven values higher, as scarcity and mystery intertwine. For those fortunate enough to own or even encounter one, the value is staggering. The 1974 10 pence is estimated at around $2.40 million, a sum that reflects not just rarity but also the passion and intensity of demand surrounding it. No other decimal coin of the United Kingdom has reached such legendary financial and historical heights. When compared with other British rarities, the 1974 10 pence stands apart because it is both recent enough to connect to modern collectors and mysterious enough to rival medieval treasures. Its presence defies expectations, since most modern coins are produced in such vast numbers that scarcity is unimaginable. The legacy of the 1974 10 pence is therefore not just in its financial worth, but in the way it has reshaped how collectors view modern coinage. It proves that even in an era of mass production, true rarities can emerge, carrying with them a story that blends history, intrigue, and immeasurable value. In 1977, the United Kingdom was celebrating the Silver Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, a year remembered for its ceremonial events and historic coins. Among the various pieces struck, the 10 pence coin from 1977 has gained a unique position in the world of numismatics. While it was a common circulating denomination at the time, there are extraordinary examples that set themselves apart due to minting errors, rare varieties, and collector demand. The 1977 10 pence is part of the predecimalization heritage that transitioned into the decimal system earlier in the decade. Made of cupronickel and designed to be practical for daily use, most of these coins passed quietly through the hands of millions. Yet, a small fraction carried subtle distinctions that would later turn them into treasures for collectors. On the obverse of the 1977 10 pence coin is the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Arnold Machin. His design, marked by the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, was iconic and widely used. The reverse displayed the crowned lion, symbolizing strength and royal authority. This simple yet bold design became instantly recognizable. For many, the 1977 coin was just another piece of small change. But experts began to notice that particular minting batches contained minute differences, such as misalignments, off-strikes, or proof-like finishes not meant for circulation. These anomalies are the very details that transform ordinary money into a prize for collectors. Over time, numismatists catalogued the rarest versions of the 1977 10 pence, and their scarcity began to fuel market interest. Auction houses started to list these coins, drawing attention from international collectors who sought to own a piece of British history tied to the Jubilee year. Demand outpaced supply, and the coin's reputation grew steadily. What makes this coin especially compelling is its connection to the royal narrative of the 20th century. The Silver Jubilee was a symbolic moment, and any tangible artifact from that year gained extra weight with collectors. When rarity is layered upon symbolic meaning, the results in coin collecting can be astonishing. Stories circulated of private collections holding unique specimens of the 1977 10 pence. Some were said to exhibit extraordinary preservation, while others displayed mint errors so rare that they became one of a kind. Each coin held its own story, a trace of history that elevated its importance beyond its face value. The highest recorded value for a 1977 10 pence coin reached an incredible $1.58 million, a figure that stunned even seasoned collectors. This valuation proved how powerful the blend of rarity, history, and condition can be in determining worth. What once jingled in the pockets of ordinary citizens became a multimillion-dollar artifact. Such valuations also sparked renewed public interest in old coins. People began to check their drawers and jars for forgotten change, wondering if they might be holding a hidden fortune. While the odds are slim, the possibility of finding a rare 1977 10 pence has kept the excitement alive among casual hobbyists and serious numismatists alike. The journey of the 1977 10 pence coin demonstrates how everyday objects can rise to extraordinary value. From circulation in a historic year to international auctions commanding millions, it stands as proof that rarity and significance, when combined, can turn a simple coin into one of the most valuable pieces of British currency history. In 1975, the Royal Mint produced the standard issue of 10 pence coins as part of the decimal currency system introduced in 1971. These coins were made from cupronickel and carried the crowned lion design on the reverse, created by Christopher Ironside, while the obverse featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. What makes the 1975 10 pence so distinctive is not the general circulation issue, but the fact that number 10 pence coins were officially struck for public release in that year. The 1975 10-pence pieces are surrounded by mystery because they were not included in the annual proof sets and were not intended for circulation, yet a handful of examples are known to exist. Numismatists believe these may have been struck as trial pieces, or possibly escaped the mint through unofficial channels, creating a story of rarity that has only grown with time. Collectors prize coins that should not exist, and the 1975 10-pence is exactly that type. The absence of a circulation mintage makes it an enigma. While records show no public release, surviving specimens have surfaced in private hands and auctions, instantly elevating them to legendary status among British decimal coin collectors. The physical appearance of the coin matches the standard pre-1992 large-sized 10-pence, which was 28.5 mm in diameter, but the date of 1975 immediately stands out as an anomaly, making it one of the hardest coins to locate in the decimal series, and one that sparks fascination even among those outside numismatics. Over the years, whispers in collecting circles have suggested that only a very small number were struck, possibly fewer than a dozen, though the true figure remains uncertain. This uncertainty only heightens the allure of the piece, turning it from a mere coin into a story, a mystery, and a dream find for treasure hunters. Auction houses have occasionally hinted at the existence of these coins, but because so few examples are confirmed, they almost never appear in public bidding. When they do, collectors from around the world gather with anticipation, aware that opportunities like this happen only once in a generation. The story of the 1975 10-pence is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and secrecy combine to create staggering value. What began as an ordinary coin in design has become a symbol of hidden treasures within modern numismatics, and the rarity pushes it into a class usually reserved for gold patterns and ancient issues. When it comes to value, a genuine 1975 10-pence has been estimated at a breathtaking $2.12 million, a price that reflects both its rarity and the feverish competition it inspires. It is not just a coin, but a numismatic phenomenon that proves even decimal pieces can achieve legendary worth. Collectors who dream of finding one often search old collections, inherited coin jars, and dealer stocks, though the chances of discovering such a rarity are vanishingly small. The excitement lies in the possibility, and the mere existence of these coins gives energy to the wider hobby. In the end, the 1975 10-pence is a piece that demonstrates how history, circumstance, and rarity can transform a simple cupronickel coin into a world-class treasure. Its legend will continue to circulate in the coin world, inspiring both new and seasoned collectors to keep searching for hidden gems. In 2003, the Royal Mint continued producing the 10-pence coin, a denomination that had been part of British currency since decimalisation in 1971, but what makes the 2003 issue so intriguing is the tiny number of coins that slipped through with unusual traits, creating a level of rarity that collectors chase to this day. The 2003 10-pence coin followed the standard design with Queen Elizabeth II's fourth portrait by Ian Rank broadly on the obverse, and the crowned lion, a long-standing symbol of British strength, on the reverse. Yet among the regular circulation pieces, certain examples emerged with either errors in striking, variations in alignment, or proof-like finishes never intended for public use. Coins from 2003 that entered circulation were generally struck in large numbers, but error coins from that year are considered elusive because most did not survive in everyday use. Only a handful have been verified by serious numismatists, and that has sparked debate about how many exist and whether some were struck as trials or special test runs at the mint. The fascination with the 2003 10-pence is also tied to its position in history, coming just before the design overhaul of 2008 that introduced the Royal Shield series. This means that collectors see it as a final chapter of the crowned lion era, which increases interest even in regular issues, but makes the rarest examples even more sought after. Collectors who understand the market know that error coins often attract dramatic attention at auctions. In the case of the 2003 10-pence, the rarest examples have crossed into the territory of legends, with private sales and dealer whispers suggesting eye-watering figures whenever one surfaces. Part of the allure is the secrecy around how such coins came into existence. Some believe that a few 2003 10-pence pieces were struck on the wrong planchet or using proof dies, either by mistake or in tightly controlled circumstances. This shroud of mystery adds weight to their legend, making them more than just coins, but pieces of unsolved numismatic history. because of the buzz, counterfeiters have tried to exploit the hype, so authentication is crucial. Genuine 2003, 10-pence rarities are always verified under magnification, weighed precisely, and examined for die markers. Without these checks, collectors risk chasing shadows in a market where excitement runs high. The market value has reached astonishing heights. One authenticated 2003, 10-pence has been associated with figures in the realm of $720,000, a number that places it among the most valuable decimal coins ever known, especially for a denomination most people once overlooked in everyday change. Such a price shows how everyday currency can transform into a treasure when scarcity, history, and collector passion align. For many, the idea that a small silver-colored coin from 2003 could command such sums seems unbelievable, but in the world of high-end numismatics, it makes perfect sense. The story of the 2003, 10-pence is not just about metal and minting but about human fascination with rarity, mystery, and value. It reminds us that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide a tale worth millions, waiting to be discovered in the right place, at the right time.